Hello students, see in our last class we were discussing about the metabolic basis for living. So refers to survive better, definitely there must be a metabolism is considered as metabolic basis for living. So what we discussed in the last class means we are going to continue the last topic, that is anabolic reaction, and one more is catabolic reactions. I mean to say that, already we discussed in the last class. See, very quickly I can recap these two sentences. One is anabolic reactions, second one is catabolic reactions, and I have given the general examples for these two. One is anabolism refers to already we have a constructed building to we have brisk, smallest brisk we have to, by taking this smallest brisk we are going to construct a complex or the house is considered as, that is anabolism. Catabolism means already we have constructed building and demolish this one and will get small pieces is considered as, that is catabolism. And the thing to understand is, see, we have some very important words to understand. First one is anabolism, second one is catabolism. Very simple to understand by means of this difference. See, first one, anabolism. As I told you right now, the definition is that the process of conversion of anabolism, that is simple to complex. First word, simple to complex. So the process of conversion of simple molecules into complex molecule is considered as, that is anabolism. Very simple example here is that already we have acetic acid. Remember acetic acid. So that acetic acid is being converted into the complex molecule called as cholesterol. That is complex molecule is considered as cholesterol. This is one such example for the anabolism. Clear? And come to the another part, that is what is catabolism. First point, simple to complex, and here exactly opposite, that is the process of conversion of complex molecule into simple molecule, that is the food molecules, complex to simple molecules. Here the best example is that when we have a glucose as a complex food molecule, it is being converted into lactic acid. It is being converted into lactic acid. It is first very fundamental difference between the anabolism and catabolism. Clear? Yes. Second very important point is that during, whatever the reactions are going to take place in the anabolism are called as, note down, anabolic reactions. Anabolic reactions. Very simple. So to say, whatever the reactions, nothing but simple to complex. Simple to complex. I can give you the very general example here. See, simple to complex means I have a glucose. Yes, I have a glucose considered as very simple molecule, and one more I have what? Fructose, again simple molecule. So these two make an complex called as disaccharide. Nothing but sucrose. Yes or no? Glucose plus fructose. This glucose and fructose together they are nothing but monosaccharides. These two monosaccharides together they become complex molecule considered as sucrose or disaccharide. So this is one such example. Acetic acid become cholesterol. Acetic acid is considered as simple molecule, and many acetic acids together they become cholesterol, that is complex molecule. Next, whatever the reactions are going to take place, nothing but this reaction, that is glucose plus fructose, which gives sucrose is considered, this reaction is come under anabolism, is considered as anabolic reactions. Meanwhile, whatever the reactions are going to take place during catabolism, means opposite. We have a sucrose. Yes, we have a sucrose. In presence of sucrose is nothing but complex food molecule or disaccharide. It will become glucose plus fructose, nothing but monomeric units. Yes, complex becomes simple. So this kind of reactions are considered as catabolic reactions. Catabolic reactions. Next, at the same time, when you talk about the anabolism, here the important word is that during anabolism, I mean here the energy is going to consume. I mean all anabolic reactions can consume energy. Please note it. Yes, very important sentence. All anabolic reactions can consume energy. Why? Because for the bond formation. Because of bond formation. See, in a very simple example, I have given here. See, once again I can write here. See, we have a glucose and we have fructose. Nothing but two separate monosaccharide units. Two separate monosaccharide units are there. So these two become disaccharide. Disaccharide means that is sucrose. Yes or no? So to form sucrose, the mandatory thing is that there must be a formation of alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond must be formed. Yes or no? Alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond must be formed between two monomeric units. For the formation of this bond, I mean to say that, imagine, it is hexose and here is one more hexose. So here there must be a bond. That formation of bond takes place, that is in presence of energy. Hence it is considered as energy consuming process. Yes, anabolism is called as energy consuming process. Yes, and here opposite. During catabolic reactions or during catabolic reaction, energy is going to release, energy is going to liberate, so called as energy releasing process. This is energy consuming process, energy releasing process. Yes, see, when we have a same example, when we have a glucose, when we have a fructose, see nothing but C, that is C12H22O11. Yes or no? Nothing but it is a disaccharide. When we break this bond, that is alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond, when you break this, definitely energy can be released, so called as energy releasing process. Yes or no? This is what? Anabolism, and that is catabolism. Yes. Now, during energy is going to liberate, so called as, is also called as endothermic reactions, exothermic reaction, or andergonic reactions, exergonic reactions. So we can also call it as. Yes. Next, and come to the point. This is that is catabolism. During catabolism, whatever the energy is going to liberate, yes, whatever the energy is going to liberate, that energy is in the form of, very important word, during catabolism. Right now I told you people, the energy is going to release. During breakdown of bond, energy is going to release. So that release energy is in the form of chemical energy. That is in the form of chemical energy. Do remember, that is in the form of chemical energy. So that chemical energy is nothing but ATP, nothing but adenosine triphosphate. See, whatever the energy is present in our body, that is in the form of chemical energy. So that chemical energy is simply called as ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. See, when we eat very complex food molecule, that is glucose or the starch or whatever food material, so that food molecule oftenly undergo metabolism and resulting in the many millions of disaccharides are going to form. Yes. Next, see, these all disaccharides are going to break into monosaccharides. During that time the energy is going to release, so that sometimes the energy is going to prepare, or energy is going to liberate, or energy is going to produce in our body more than how much we need for our normal function. Yes or no? So sometimes it may liberate, or it may they may produce in enormous number. So those excess ATP molecules, see, so those excess ATP molecules refers to those ATP molecules are not utilized immediately. So those can be stored in the form of, again called as, chemical energy. Is, I mean to say, the better simple word is that excess energy can be stored in the body in the form of chemical energy. So as and when, I mean to say, whenever you people are in need, so definitely those energy can be utilized by the body. Yes, so this is very simple concept. I mean, more the concept is about the catabolism. Getting my point? So very simple. The energy is going to liberate from during the catabolism. That is in the form of chemical energy, and that chemical energy is again in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, guanosine triphosphate, cytosine triphosphate, many are there. In that one is ATP, adenosine triphosphate, also called as energy currency. So these are keep on storing in the body, is as and when or whenever we people are in need, so that can be utilized by our body. So this is the what? The concept regarding the metabolic basis for living. Yes, please just go through the two things. One is anabolism, catabolism, and I told you people in the last class, anabolism and catabolism together called as anabolic pathway or biosynthetic pathway. Next, the same time we have one more very important topic. So very simple topic. Yes. Next simple topic is steady state or non-living equilibrium. So steady state, non-equilibrium. Before entering into this topic, I would like to tell you people what mean by this. What mean by this? See, I can make you understand by a very simple diagrammatic representation. Imagine we have a vessel. I am going to take a small vessel. Here, in this vessel, I can make two compartments. Okay, I can take one compartment. Imagine compartment A, compartment B. Yes, compartment A and compartment B. And these two compartments are well separated by, as we know that, semi-permeable membrane, also called as selective permeable membrane, nylon membrane, or what? Semi-permeable or cell membrane, whatever. See, in this, in A compartment I am going to put, that is water molecule, that is water with, better I can write like solution, yes or no, solute plus solvent. And the same time in the part B is no solution or no water, nothing, it is completely empty. Yes, now allow it for osmosis. Now allow it for osmosis. What happens? As we know that what mean by osmosis? Yes or no? See, here the water can start moving from the compartment A to compartment B. Yes or no? Compartment A to compartment B. See, through the semi-permeable membrane. Of course, no doubt. See, all the water molecule along with the solution starts entering into the compartment B. Yes or no? Yes. See, here the thing is, the molecule or the solution which is present in the compartment A starts moving towards the compartment B unless and until in both compartments the solution level become equilibrium. Yes or no? It become equilibrium. So once at a particular extent, or what extent they become, they may refers to compartment A and compartment B become equilibrium, the moment of solution stops. Yes, definitely. So at what reason? I mean to say, when the both A and B become equilibrium, the movement stops. Yes or no? So the movement stops refers to there must be a equilibrium. There must be a equilibrium. And again, when we keep on adding the solution to the compartment A, so the movement never stops. When we add some more solution, when we keep on adding the extra solution to the A compartment, the movement never stops from A to B, because it is not maintaining, or we are not maintaining equilibrium. Yes or no? So when there is no equilibrium, the movement or the process or the physical process will be in movement. It never stops. Yes or no? So that is what we need. Yes. Now come back to the topic. Yes. What mean by this? See, what they are telling is that steady state or non-equilibrium. It means that to perform work in our body, so whatever the concentration is there, whatever the things are there, so whatever the things will be present in the body, will take all. Those all things should not reach their equilibrium state. Once they reach their equilibrium state, they never perform any function in the body. So that all the molecules which are present in the body, they must not reach the equilibrium state. When they are unable to reach the equilibrium state, they will be functional. They must be perform function. Why? They must do, or they must perform the function to reach equilibrium, but they never reach equilibrium. So they never reach the equilibrium, they are continuous in process. Yes, this is what my thing. Yes. And one more example, better generalized example I can tell you people. So in relation to this one, see, my aim, my main concentration or the aim is to, I should have 10 lakh rupees in my bank account. Imagine, just imagine the sentence, I should have 10 lakh rupees in my bank account. This is what? My equilibrium. This is my equilibrium. See, so when I reach 10 lakh rupees in my bank account means I am going to reach the equilibrium state. I mean to say, I am going to leave, or I am going to resign my work. I am going to resign my job. When? Only when I reach 10 lakh rupees in my bank account. Yes, this is what? Equilibrium. So to reach this equilibrium, yes or no? So equilibrium means constant. Means to reach this 10 lakh, I must work. Yes or no? I must work. I must do my job. Yes or no? So every month I am getting salary. Yes or no? So every month I am going to save at least some amount. Why? Because to reach this equilibrium state. So unless and until I am going to reach this amount, I must do my work. Yes or no? So that, I mean to say, throughout my life, if I am unable to reach this amount, I should do my job. Yes or no? I mean to say, I never reach the equilibrium. I never reach the equilibrium means I must do my job. This is what? So why I am going to do my job? Because to reach the equilibrium. If there is no equilibrium, I must do the work. So this is what our concept. Likewise, when compare with this one. So let's say, for example, 4.2 to 6.1. That is what? Blood glucose, normal blood glucose level. That is millimole per liter. Just imagine, just 4.2 to 6.1 millimole per liter. That is normal blood glucose level. So when it reaches equilibrium, it will become equilibrium. It never perform any kind of function. So that when these glucose are utilized by the cells, yes, when these glucose molecules utilized by the cells, the level will become less than the normal. Yes or no? So when they become less than the normal, they are in non-equilibrium. Yes or no? So that the concentration is not particular, or it is not up to the mark, again it has to increase. Say for example, after the glucose utilized by the cells, their level become 3.1 to 4.1. Yes or no? So this 3.1 to 4.1 means it is less than the normal. It is less than the normal. It has to reach the normal. Normal means equilibrium. So when it reaches the normal level, it perform any work. It never perform any work. So it should not reach its equilibrium state. So whatever the things in our body. Say again, one more example is when I eat food material at 2 o'clock. When I eat food material at 2 o'clock, so the stomach is completely full. Nothing but I reached equilibrium. Yes or no? For several years together, I never get hungry. Means I am in equilibrium state. I never do any work. Yes or no? So immediately or within 4 to 5 hours, again I am going to get hungry. Means within a very span of time, I am in non-equilibrium. Yes. Again to reach the equilibrium, again I need to have the food. So when when I have food, means I will be in the equilibrium state. Yes. Again after 4 hours, again I will be in non-equilibrium. Yes or no? Means I am in continuous function. Whatever you take in our body, all the material should not reach the, according to physics also you can take, according to physics also you can take, whatever the chemicals or the constituents are present in our body, that should not, they never ever reach equilibrium. Means when they reach equilibrium, they cannot perform any work. Yes, so they should not reach the equilibrium. So if they are unable to reach the equilibrium, they are in continuous function. They perform continuous work. This is our small concept, that is steady state. Steady state or non-equilibrium. This is our simple concept about the how the body is in the functional. Yes or no? How the body is functional means final conclusion is that whatever the molecules in our body, those molecules should not reach their equilibrium state. Means when they are unable to reach their equilibrium state, they are in continuous function. That is our statement. Clear? So they should not reach equilibrium state. And tomorrow we have a very wonderful topic, that is enzymes. Yes, so that enzyme part we'll discuss in tomorrow's class, and this is enough for today's class. Yes, so please do remember, keep watching the videos. Thank you very much.